Hey guys, it's me, Tyson the Trainer, your mindset coach, back with another episode. Now, before we get into this episode, I just want to make sure that I'm sharing with you this exclusive deal just for you today. If you sign up with me for 2 weeks, it's only going to cost you $699.99 or $11.11.11.11. Whatever angel numbers resonate with you more. That means to sign, and you should sign up with me. Now, I have 0 qualifications, but I have read Atomic Habits, and I've also posted on my Instagram about mindset for the last 3 months. So I think I'm qualified to do this, and you better get on it quick. Take care of yourself. Get on board with my coaching. Excel. Get rid of all those shadows, those dark shadows you've got. Don't worry about seeing a psychologist. That's what a waste of money. Come and see me for only $6666666 or $11.11.11.11. Whatever angel numbers suit you better. A bullshit. But anyways, so that's just, that's how it is at the moment. Isn't it funny? We're not going to talk about that bullshit today, though. We're going to be talking about how to increase your adherence and your motivation for long-term success. Because my goal is always long-term with you guys, right? I don't give a shit what you achieve in the next 12 weeks. I don't give a shit what you achieve in 4 months, okay? Like, I do, but I hope that that's not all the end all be all for you, right? I don't want that to be the end all be all for you. I want to teach you these lifestyle things to put into place so it's actually a lifestyle, so it's sustainable, so you can do these things for years, okay? It's not dieting for years. I don't want people fucking dieting for years, but I'm teaching you the things necessary in order to fucking live a healthy life, because I don't want you to grow old and be in pain or die early from a preventative disease. Jesus. Something that could be prevented, right? A lifestyle factor. I want you guys to fucking avoid that shit and grow into old age and hopefully be able to wipe your own ass when you're older, okay? Like, that's one of my goals. Literally, it's like I do not want a carer having to wipe my ass because I'm so incapacitated. That's a huge thing. I like my dignity, okay? And I want the same for you guys, whether it be moving pain-free, again, avoiding lifestyle issues that could kill you earlier, without being too obsessive. We've all got to have that balance at the end of the day. And this is why it's called a lifestyle. Health and fitness adds to your life. It doesn't obsess. It doesn't take away. It doesn't eliminate. It's just got to have that balance, It's this is why I also think the 80-20 principle works so well for the long term. Because it's like, look, 80-20, we look at the year, 80% of your year is 2 months, right? Now, it's not like you're going to have 2 months of just absolute fucking whatever. But it's like when we think about it, we take in holidays to account. So that's what, let's say 4 weeks in regards to Christmas time. So it's 2 weeks over that. You got Easter, which is technically 3-5 days, all the public holidays, all those type of things. It ends up being let's say 4 weeks. Then with your other 4 weeks, you do whatever the fuck you want. You might go on holidays, it's weekend events, it's all these things, right? And that's what we want, because it's as long as you're 80% on point, you're going to be good for the long run in regards to your health. But not only that, you're still going to have the balance. You're not a fucking miserable cunt. And you're like, oh, well, Tyson just said I got to be fucking healthy and fit. I'm never going to go and do this again. Because you don't want that either. Do you want to live the way the fucking bodybuilders live? That neurotic lifestyle? Because I fucking don't. And I've lived that shit, man. And I was like, yeah, man, fuck, I just do this. Jesus Christ, no socializing, all right? I'm pretty much a hermit as it is, but I still like to go and see my friends, I like to go and eat fucking good food when I can. I don't want to be counting my fucking macros every time. When I go and travel, I want to say yes to pastries and all the other shit and gain a little bit of weight and come back and then know that I enjoyed myself, I want to be able to do party, I'm open, guys. I do party drugs when there's a fucking time and event. Do I do it every week? No. Do I do it when there's going to be a good time and it might be once every few months? Fucking oath I am. That's how it is. That's my balance at the end of the day. Because for a majority of the time, when you focus on your health, it doesn't matter. It's the minutia. But it's what we do as a majority of the whole, okay? Which is why I think the lifestyle factor is such a big component of fitting this into your life. Which is why I want to talk about adherence and motivation today, because I want you to start setting yourself up for that long-term success, right? A lot of people think, okay, I'll just get through this next 12 weeks and then it's going to be, it's not, and then I'm going to go back to normal, because the lifestyle you were living before taking on your health and fitness journey was probably a fucking shitty lifestyle in the first place. Let's be honest. Drinking every weekend is not what you want to be doing all the time. It's fun, but like, fuck, is it worth it? Do you enjoy the hangovers you get? No. Do you enjoy the money you waste? No. Do you enjoy the fucking, I mean, you might, like if you have money to blow, why not? But guess what? I don't like fucking wasting my money and regretting it. I don't like spending all this fucking money on Uber Eats and stuff. And I'm like, the meal wasn't even that good, right? So it's like things like that where it's like, we just want to change that perspective. So, not that perspective, that lifestyle. So, you know, with what you've come into in regards to your health and fitness, you can't go back to those old habits, but you can go back to some of those old behaviors occasionally. Like I said, you know, if you have a bender once a month, let's say you go out for a friend's birthday, you have 10, 15 drinks once a month, you pay for it on a Sunday. As long as for the rest of that month you're on point, you ain't gonna see much of a difference, right? It's just the accumulation effect where you keep doing it every fucking weekend, 3 days in a row, and people are like, oh, I wonder why I'm gaining weight. I wonder why I'm tired. I wonder why on Wednesday I'm still coming down. Well, it's like, there's your fucking answer, right? So we can't go back to old behaviors. But with these new behaviors we want to try and implement, you got to make sure that you're going to be able to stick to it. Because again, if you're like, I'm only going to do this and then get through it, then it's like, then what? What do you do from there? So we want to change that perspective. There are certain things you do when you're trying to diet, like again, creating a calorie deficit, possibly choosing foods that are a bit higher in volume, the 0 calorie shit. I understand that, doing extra stuff, but it's like, while that's only short-term stuff, some of those things are only short-term. In the long term, a lot of those behaviors you want to still be implementing, like eating well, moving every day, all that type of stuff, okay? So first thing, in order to increase your adherence and your motivation for making this long term, you got to find out what's going to be enjoyable for you with exercise, okay? Now, I've talked about this before, but this is such a crucial factor. If you do not like to train in the gym by yourself with your headphones in, being a lone wolf, then the gym, like that style, just like a commercial gym, isn't probably gonna fucking be the best thing for you, okay? There's a reason my partner goes to, it's called Alpha Athletes, where I also work, but there's a reason she goes there, the community. She doesn't fucking wear headphones. She talks to people there because everyone's nice and friendly. It's actually funny, like some people will wear headphones when they're in their zone, they're trying to push hard, but as a thing, like someone will come up to you and talk to you, and it's not like, what the fuck is this person talking to me for? Everyone's friendly there. It's a community, all right? It's the same as CrossFit. It's the same as F45. It's the same as like that community vibe is what I should say. I'm assuming with F45, the same 5 a.m.ers always go there. Oh, look, she's back, blah, blah, Karen's here, blah, and you get excited. You're like, oh, I'm going to be fucking seeing blah, blah. Some people create really good friendships through the gym and stuff like that too, right? So you've got to know what actually, you know, what type of environment do you like working out in? For me, I do like to have my routine and go and train in the gym, but I'm a very social person. So even though I like my routinized training side of things, every Sunday, I'll always train with mates. And then actually, funnily enough, I'll train with my mate Danny for the majority of the time in the gym because he has his program to do. I have my program to do, but like we'll talk between sets and stuff. However, we know like we just get into work, get it done. That type of thing. Sunday, it'll be me, James, and Danny usually, you know, training together, talking shit, but still training. Because that's what works. And like those two I will train with because I know they're still there to train, not to just fucking speak shit all the time. Occasionally I'll go and do another workout with a mate as a strongman. You know, I'll do a CrossFit with one of my other friends that he does CrossFit because I like that stuff. It's always good for me to change it up because I like that social side of things. But as a majority, I enjoy doing my workout by myself, right? For you, again, you could hate doing a workout by yourself. So guess what? Don't fucking join a commercial gym. Go and do something that has the community, right? The gym is still an important thing you want to try and incorporate at least 2 to 3 times a week, just for strength training overall, because strength training is going to help with bone density, you know, muscle and that side of stuff. Outside of that, other types of, you know, finding other types of exercise you like that you should be participating in to keep you active. Might be sports every, what's it called? Season. You know, there's seasonal sports. Do sports. Go find, you know, maybe it's running, whatever it is, cardio, like, find activities that you enjoy that you can keep going to. That's the most important thing. There is no right or wrong with the activity you choose. It's what's going to keep you fucking going and doing it, right? It seems so simple to say, but that's how you're going to increase your adherence. If you're, again, part of a 5 a.m. crew, people are going to hassle you, especially if you become friends. People hassle you. Oi, where were you yesterday? Didn't fucking see ya, you know? Stuff like that. That actually encourages you to go because these people care about you. Yeah, they like to catch up with you. You feel welcome in the community. Like, that's a big fucking part, okay? That's also why CrossFit kills it so well because everyone is so fucking, you know, everyone's supporting each other. There's no, oh, this person did this person. Same as Alpha. When someone's going for a big lift, people stop in the gym to watch the person do the lift and like G that person up. It's fucking cool. It's a good environment. If you're someone who likes that community environment, go and look for community stuff. All right? If you're a lone wolf, go and do the gym. That's what you got to know, okay? Same thing with sports. If you like an independent sport and you like to run and have your headphones on, or a marathon or whatever that is, cool. If you like to team sport, go find a fucking team sport, you know? For me, boxing, I will not do boxing by myself. As much as I enjoy it, like I like to have a coach, because it's like gives me feedback, makes me better, but also we just talk shit. You know, it works for my personality. So please, to increase your adherence, go and find something you enjoy, all right? And secondly, bring friends too. Even if you're like, oh man, I gotta, go for my Sunday walk. Go fucking bring a friend. Go catch up with a friend for coffee and go for a walk. Like when I catch up with Mac, you guys know Man by Mac, we very rarely sit down and do nothing. We always go for a walk. We walk down San Susie Ramsgate. I don't know what that's called. What is that called? Is that Ramsgate? Wherever that is. The Esplanade, like the whole way down. We'll go get a coffee at one end, walk the whole way down, the whole way up. We get like 6,000, 7,000 steps. And it's not like, oh, let's go get our steps. It's like, let's go for a fucking walk and chat. Because like, I hate sitting down in a coffee shop and just doing nothing. It's like, I'd rather go for a walk, right? When I go catch up with other friends, like we might go for a walk. Like I have friends in Newtown where I am. Sydney Park, it's a fucking nice park to walk in. Or again, if it's a good vibe, we might sit at a cafe, but I like to just go for a walk because like it's just nice to walk in an environment. And again, when you have someone there, it goes so quick. Even just doing cardio, if you're like, oh, I have to go do one of my clients, when her friend was doing prep, she would go and do cardio with her friend because one, fucking cardio in the gym can be a killer. Two, it just made her friend get through it a lot easier, right? Because it's like, this person's fucking suffering a bad deficit. My client's like, oh, sweet, I'll go do cardio with you. It just makes the time easier. So having a friend there can also make things a lot easier, more enjoyable. And it's like, you're killing two birds with one stone. You're socializing and you're getting a little bit of activity in. Again, it's not just for the sake of get your steps in. Like, just go for a fucking walk because it's nice to go for a walk. Or go for a cycle or whatever it is. Get your partner. Like Angie and I will sometimes go for a morning walk on a Saturday. If I wake up early enough. If she wakes up early enough, we'll go for a walk together, especially if the weather's nice. I'll usually go for a walk, come back, and then she's waking up, then we go for another walk because I'll tire myself out a little bit. But it's just like, man, fucking so much to do. So much to be activity-wise. And like walking's one of the easiest way you can just increase your overall activity. And it's good, again, long-term adherence. Like fucking man, being active is a good thing, okay? So friends make it more adherable. Community makes it more adherable. Finding what you actually enjoy makes it more adherable, right? What else in that side of things? Accountability. Now, I guess we'll talk about more of the, I guess that's adherence. Talk about more of the motivation side of things with adherence, because again, sometimes things are just tough, right? One way to increase your motivation, especially when you're trying to do something new and it seems tough, is to start by breaking the thing down into easier chunks, okay? So I'll give you guys an idea of what I mean. With boxing, I'm always trying to learn new stuff, and it's very frustrating for me. I hate that I can't learn it straight away when my coach is trying to teach me. So I go home and I'm like, I'm going to start practicing. But then at the start, when I started saying that, I didn't fucking practice. Because I would say, when I'd say I'm going to start practicing at home, I never gave myself I never gave myself a specific idea, I guess you would say, a specificity of what that was going to be, if you know what I'm saying. Like, I got to go home and practice. Okay, like how long for? What are you going to do? And like for me, I had this idea in my head where like, I'm going to practice. And then I was like, oh, it's going to be half an hour a day. Like, oh my God, I put it off because there was so much overwhelm to start it. And I was like, okay, what if I just do 1 3-minute round of practicing one of the exercises that he taught me? I was like, yep, I can do that. So I started doing 1 3-minute round a day. That's it, 3 minutes. And guess what? I moved up from there. Oh, 3 minutes is fucking easy. All right, sweet, I'll do another round. Okay, cool. All right, I'll actually do this 2 5-minute rounds. Like, there's a point of like, you do it until it becomes too challenging or it takes up too much time. But I'm like, I can make 10 minutes a day for this now. However, I couldn't make 10 minutes at the start. I started with going easier. 3 minutes, once a day. Once that was easy, added up, added a little bit more. Never try and compound and jump huge amounts by doing one thing and then another thing. break it down, be specific with what you're going to do. This makes it way easier. So if you're like, oh man, I got to fucking eat 100 X amount of protein a day, or I've got to train 4 days a week. Okay, well, you're doing 0. Start with 1 day of training, okay? Or you're like, oh man, I'm so tired. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get through this whole workout. All right, well, I'll just go to the gym and I'm just going to do 2 workouts. That's all I'm going to do, like just 2 exercises. Break it down, because it's so funny when we can break things down to their components, break it down into something smaller. It just seems way more achievable and you're actually incentivized to do it, all right? With meditation, you know, I now meditate every day. When I first started, well, fuck, I've been meditating for over a year now. Damn. You know how many times I tried to meditate over the years to get into it, guys? And I could never fucking do it. You know why? 15 minutes of meditation every day. That's what I'm going to start doing. Sitting down first day, 15 minutes, I'm like, oh, but I had the motivation, so I did it. Second day, yeah, okay, I'll do it again. And I don't think I ever broke a week of meditation at a time, because it was just too much of a fucking effort to sit down for 15 minutes and do nothing. Imagine that. Effortful to sit down and do nothing. So what did I do? This time, well, yeah, since I started last year, I literally was like, can I start with 3 minutes a day? For some reason, I just picked 3 minutes of things. So I was like, yeah, I'll start with 3 minutes a day. Now I do 15 minutes a day. And oh, surprise, surprise. Why can I keep this in my day? Because I started at 3 minutes. Eventually, when that got easier, I went to 4 minutes. I literally increased by a minute at a time, because guess what? If I'm like, yeah, I can do 5 minutes a day. Now I'll do 15. We get so ambitious and we want to jump things up faster or, you know, quicker, but it's like, well, hang on, now it becomes too hard to do it again, and then you go backwards. So the thing here is like, you break it down and make it as easy as possible. Basically, you break something down until you say, yes, I can do that, all right? Then you do it, then you got to stick to that point. You got to keep doing it until it becomes easy. Then when you're like, now I want to step it up, you've got to realistically, this is where it's very tricky, to step it up to the next bit without overloading yourself, okay? So you actually kind of got to think about this and be like, all right, I'm doing this, can I do this amount? It's like the gym. I'm going twice a week. Can I go 5 days a week? And it's like, whoa, okay. Like 5 days a week's a big commitment. What if you said to yourself, I'm going to go 4 days a week? Because you're like, yeah, I got 4 days. And then if I have free time, I'll do the 5th. So the 5th's always a bonus. That's actually what I do for clients in their workouts. If a client says to me, I can do 5 days a week, I'm like, okay, cool. I'm giving you 4 workouts and your 5th one's a bonus. You never feel like you have to do it. If you can and you can get to the gym, sweet, but it's not essential. And just me changing that perspective with them doesn't make them feel like a failure if they don't get the 5th day, because it's an option, you know? And it's like, with that, it's like they were doing nothing. And they're like, so it's like, you know, so a client comes to me, hey, I haven't been training. Okay, how many days you got available to train? Oh, 5 days, or I can train every day. Well, I'm not going to fucking give you everyday training if you've been doing 0, firstly. Secondly, I know you've got 5 days to train, but let's be realistic here. Like, you've been doing 0. So I usually give them 3 workouts. And I say, hey, the 4th one's an extra. And sometimes they get frustrated. They're like, oh, but I can do this. I'm like, just show me, all right? Show me you can do this. And then people realize, oh, wait, actually real life happens, you know? We always like to think that it's like the analogy that I like to use is like, you think every light's going to be fucking green on the way to your destination. If I leave at 9:07 and I need to be somewhere at, 9:35, perfect. I'm going to leave exactly at 9:07, It's like, oh, okay, so everything is going to be in line for you in this world. Everything's going to line up just for you to get there exactly at the time you need to get there. It's like, fuck, mate. Life doesn't work like that, And for me, I'd way rather be early than late. And what that means, like the same, when we apply that, I'd way rather get 4 workouts in and have 5th as a bonus, right? I'd way rather do a minimum of something a day, and then if I have extra time, do more. That's what I'd way rather do, because it's like you do what's essential, and then if you have the extra, fucking happy days. So with that, with breaking things down, break it down to what's going to be realistic for you. And the cool thing about this too is like when you start smaller and you can build up, you got plenty of room to build, firstly. Secondly, your adherence goes through the roof when you start smaller, right? Like, you feel so good for getting it done, and you'll keep doing it if it's easily done, That's why easy habits, bad habits that we have are so hard to break, because they're fucking easy. There's no barrier to entry. The harder it is, like the bigger the barrier, the harder it is to actually break through that. It's the same thing as like when I say, like let's say you have a habit of, trying to think of a habit. Okay, you have a habit of overeating Biscoff, okay? So you're like, oh, fuck, man. Every time I buy Biscoff, I eat the jar. All right. I mean, I've talked to you guys about exposure. This is a different example. But it's like, you're like, every time I eat Biscoff, I eat the jar. Okay. Well, let's say you never brought Biscoff in the house again, right? Then there's no barrier to you not eating the Biscoff. It's just not there. Like, there's zero effort to restrain yourself because it's not there. So when temptation's removed, it's not that you even have to use willpower or motivation on it. It's just not there, right? When someone who's addicted is taken away from the easy access they had, if they went back to that same environment and it was easy access, they're most likely going to become addicted again because their environment. If you were to take an addict, fucking put them in the desert, right? Or again, they go to the retreats, they get clean. Thankfully, there's no temptation there. If they were then to move away and they moved into a desert, you think they're going to fucking go and get addicted to whatever they were on before if there's no access to it? No, like the access is not there. They're not relying on willpower, okay? The barrier to entry is so high to go and get their supply. It's so high that they can't fucking do it. So they just don't, all right? So when you make something a lower barrier to entry, it's easier to do. When you make it a higher barrier to entry, it's harder to do. So this works both ways. You want to increase your motivation and your adherence, you make it a lower barrier to entry. You want to prevent something that you were doing that's bad, you make it a higher barrier to get to. That's how you make things like that. That's how you can manipulate your behaviors with your environment instead of relying on your willpower. But honestly, breaking things down will increase your motivation so much because when you can say yes, you'll fucking do it. If you say, I want to go to the gym 3 days a week, okay. What if you worked out at home 3 days a week for 20 minutes? You're like, oh yeah, I could probably do that. Okay, sweet. Do that first. Build up the momentum. Then you're like, all right, now I'll do 2 days at home, 1 day at the gym. Okay, cool. It's not like, okay, I did 3 days at home, 20-minute workouts. Now I'm going to go for 3-hour sessions in the gym. It's like, build up. There's no fucking rush to just get to 100, like to go balls to the wall. And again, the more you can just build up your momentum and have low barrier to entry things by breaking things down, the more likely you are to stick to something, okay? Same thing with me reading. I got it to a point where I wanted to read every day. I ended up reading, I was like, yeah, I'm going to do 45 minutes a day. Well, that was fucking stupid from me reading 0 to wanting to read 45 minutes a day. Why did I pick that number? Don't ask me, okay? Do not ask. All right, fine. What's realistic? What can I do? It's like just put myself in check. What can I do? Oh, I can 5 pages? Yeah, 5 pages, pretty easy. Cool. What's that going to take me, like 15 minutes? Yeah, if that. Cool. I can do 5 pages every day. Guess what I've been doing? 5 pages every day. I'm going to find the benchmark. Where's my benchmark? Okay. I'm not going to go 5 pages. All right, sweet. I'll do 20. How about I do 6 pages first? Okay, sweet. I got 6. What if I try 7? That's where I'm going to go. All right. I'm going to build myself up. Same with you. Apply that same principle to get your momentum going. All right. Break it down. The next thing is to be specific. Be very, when you write a method out, like a checklist, do step 1, step 2, step 3, step 4. Like when you read a method, yeah, what's a recipe, okay? Firstly, I'm not going to read your blog. You know when people write a recipe and they tell you the whole backstory? I'm like, just fucking tell me where the ingredients are and what the fucking method is. I don't give a shit how you discovered this, recipe for fucking potatoes, man. I don't care. I don't care that it was a Sunday morning and you were feeling restless. And I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with anything? Give me the goddamn information I'm looking for, right? When you read the method and the instructions, when they're done well, they're done very simply, but they're very specific in what needs to be done, okay? You want the exact same thing for instructions for yourself. The more specific you are, the less ambiguity and vagueness there is, and then guess what? The more likely you are to stick to it. If your boss gave you a checklist and said, here's step 1 to step 10 of exactly what you need to do. Step 1, sit at your desk. Step 2, click the power button on the right-hand side of the computer to turn the computer on. Step 3, click the left-hand corner, which has a picture of what is that? The Windows thing. I don't know. Of a window, let's say, to open up, the fucking start menu, whatever it is, right? It's very specific. You're going to know exactly what to do. There's no when he says click the left-hand corner on the window, does he mean click the right hand upper right quadrant with the picture of the elephant? You're like, no, it says the fucking left hand bottom corner. All right. Same thing with you. When you say you want to do stuff, if you are like, I'm going to go to the gym at 6 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. so I can get to the gym by 6:30 a.m. on Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. I'm going to set my alarm on Sunday night, I should say, at 8:30 p.m. to get me ready for bed. So I'm going to wake up at 5 a.m. so I can get to the gym at 6:30 a.m. I'm going to lay out my clothes the night before in the kitchen so I can not wake up my partner and still in the kitchen, whatever that is. Give yourself specific instructions, okay? Like, be specific, because when you give yourself vagueness, there's room to escape, there's room to get out of it. Because we've all done this where we've told ourselves we're going to do something, but when you're not as specific with what you're going to do, you just talk yourself out of it. Oh, did I actually say I was going to do this or did this? And you try and you try and mentally justify to yourself the things you've told yourself. Like, you said you're going to do this, and then you mentally justify in your head why you don't have to do it this way or why this. And it's like, oh, how can I get around this thing? Where's the loophole that I've created for myself? Don't create loopholes. It sounds fucking crazy, but it's like, literally, we create loopholes for ourselves, and it's like, don't fucking do that. Write specifics with what you're going to do, and don't be stupid. This goes back to, again, breaking it down. Don't be like, I'm going to exercise 5 days this week at 5 a.m. every morning when you've been going to bed at 12 a.m., when you've been doing zero exercise. Like, don't fucking do that either, okay? This isn't about writing down and being a fucking robot. It's just about the things you want to do, going back to the point of breaking it down. So let's say you've broken down a goal with what you want to do, write out that specificity with how you're going to do it, okay? Because when I think I've talked to you guys before about like the logic brain, the emotional brain, okay? The logic brain is the boss. The boss is writing the instructions. The emotional brain just follows the instructions. That's basically all it is, okay? So there's no extra thinking, extra brain work the emotional brain has to do. It just follows what the boss says, right? Now, again, you're not going to fucking be this robot that'll never question anything, that'll never try and get out of stuff, because guess what? You're in the situation you're in right now because we are emotional humans and we are not robots. But at the same time, when you give yourself a little bit more specificity, there's no wiggling out of shit, right? There's no loopholes that you've created for yourself, and you're more likely to follow, because you just follow this checklist. You're like, well, I said at 12 o'clock I'm going to go and do this. Fuck, all right. Like, I'm going to put my phone down in airplane mode. I'm going to sit down for 10 minutes and I'm going to play this meditation music. I'm going to listen to it for 10 minutes in my office. All right, cool. Boom, boom, boom. Instructions, all right? So be specific. Specific when you've broken it down into an actual step, all right? The next thing you can do with being specific is also, funnily, this is a weird thing, is picturing in your mind how you're going to do it. So basically, subconsciously, you're trying to show yourself how this is going to look for yourself. Now, this is sounding weird, right? But it's like, when you can, in a way, it's kind of like a visualization. Well, it is, but it's not like fucking The Secret, visualizing your success. It's like, you think about, all right, this time I'm going to be doing this. So like, you think about, when you write that down, you kind of visualize anyways, right? When you're writing the specifics down, I'm going to sit in my office on my chair. You think about the chair you have. You think about your office. I'm going to put on this music. You think about opening your Spotify. I mean, that's what I was thinking when I was telling you guys. I don't know if you guys have thinking pictures and stuff. But like, you're telling yourself that, right? And so it's like, okay, you're telling yourself that. You're visualizing what it's going to look like. Then you're more likely to do it. One of my clients texted me. She's like, hey, there's cake in the fridge at work. I'm writing this to you now because I'm telling you that I'm not going to have that cake today, and I'm going to text you at 5 p.m. that I was successful for not going into the fridge and getting it, okay? She gave herself specific instructions. She used me for accountability, right, by texting me, and she said what she's going to do. She's going to text me at 5 p.m. and tell me. Cool. So she already visualized that in her head, what she's going to do, and she told me what's going to happen. Guess what? It happened, okay? Again, this doesn't mean it's going to be perfect, that you're a robot, that you just think about the stuff and it's done, but these little things can help you become more adherent overall and increase your motivation to do stuff, because it's easier to knock down and you're giving yourself specific instructions, okay? If you've ever been given good instructions, you know what good instructions look like. If you've ever gotten shit instructions, you know what shit instructions look like. Try and make yourself good instructions to do. Right? And then finally, that was the next point where it's like find an accountability buddy. If you want someone to keep you accountable, you're like, all right, well, if I tell someone this, then I'm more likely to do it. Tell someone who's actually going to hold you to it. Okay. You cannot give that person the power to expect them to motivate you, to encourage you to do all that stuff. Like the fucking onus is on you. But if you're like, hey, I'm going to tell you right now, if I don't do this by this time, or if I do this, I'm going to give you $500, or I'm going to do X, Y, Z, or, you've got like, I'm going to, donate $1,000 to a company that I hate, whatever it's going to be. Right. Or, if I do this, don't buy me coffee for the next week, because it might be someone at work who buys you coffee every day. Do not give me a coffee for the next week. Well, then you got someone to keep you accountable. Again, you cannot put the the onus on them to make you do stuff. You're just using someone there to hold you to your own word. Okay. So find someone, find someone who's a bit of a fucking tough bastard on you, right? Not like they're going to fucking yell at you when you're down, but it's like, okay, like clients tell me stuff because I'm a coach and because I'm going to hold them to their expectations, right? I've got a friend, again, Danny, I will tell him whatever and he'll fucking like hold me to it. He'll be like, no, you said this. Good. He fucking holds me to it, right? I got other people that I can tell stuff to, and then I can just be like, oh, well, I wasn't. And they're like, oh, that's okay, don't worry. No. You don't want that person. You want someone who's actually going to fucking hold you to what you want to say, all right? Again, not fucking telling you have to do this and force you to do stuff, because you're not using that person to make you do something. You're using them to hold you to accountability, all right? So accountability is a big one. And then finally, reward, okay? Find things to reward yourself with. What's fucking exciting to you, At the moment, I'm trying to cut back on weed again, okay? I've been good, and I fall back into this fucking habit. I'm like, God damn it. And like, I know I'm not addicted because it's not in the house, it's not there. But if it's in the house, it's there. And I'm like, oh, well, fuck. Easy access, right? If it's in the house, I will use it. If it's not in the house, I will not use it. And I still make that same human mistake. I bring it back in the fucking house. Okay, dumb. So what have I done? I can't buy takeaway coffee if I have weed. And I love my takeaway coffee. So guess what I haven't been having? Weed. That's my reward, takeaway coffee. Little things like that. For you might be like, every time I stick to my nutrition, I'm going to give myself $20 as a reward in my piggy bank to spend on whatever the fuck I want to spend it on, Oh, there's this new bag that I want to get. Oh, there's this new activewear that I want to get. Oh, there's fucking coffee that I want to get. I want to take my partner out to dinner in a few weeks, and we really want to go to this nice restaurant and splurge a little bit, so I'm going to save some money. Having a reward there. If you're dieting, don't reward yourself with fucking food, okay? If you're trying to manage your weight, don't reward yourself with food. Find other things to reward yourself. Do you want a massage fund, whatever the fuck it's going to be. Everyone's going to be different, but having a reward can be a good incentive too, right? You get to choose a reward, but you've also got to make the criteria be specific to what you've got to do to get that, okay? Don't try and weasel yourself out of it. Like, for me, it's like, okay, let's say I didn't smoke weed and I had an edible. This is why I said I'm not going to have weed, okay? Because I might be like, oh, but I said I'm not going to smoke weed, but I had an edible. I should be able to still buy a coffee. That's a loophole, right? Fucking sneaky, emotional me created a loophole that I didn't think about. Like, that would be an example. So I was like, okay, do not have it, right? Like, it's funny because you'll find yourself making these little loopholes. You're like, oh, but I didn't say this. It's like, okay, cool. You caught yourself out there. Make that the new thing. Like, slide that loophole. And then at least that way, you're keeping yourself on point too, right? So these are just some tips that I think are going to help with you guys, increasing your overall adherence and motivation. So if we go back through it again, just to recap on everything, make it enjoyable. Find something that, I guess that goes to, it's like make it enjoyable, or find something that's going to be enjoyable for you that, whether it be community, training by yourself, some type of sport, whatever is going to be making it enjoyable for you, all right? Find a friend who you can do activities with that'll make it even more enjoyable. People make things more fun together, all right? What else did I talk about that? And then breaking down things into smaller, actionable, realistic stuff that you can do. Break it down until it's a yes, and when you build it up slowly, okay? Be specific with what you're going to do. Write yourself out basically a step-by-step guide as to what you will do, when you will do it, how you will do it, and do not allow yourself to have loopholes, okay? Find an accountability buddy who can hold you to the things you say you want to do, and then also have a ramification if you don't stick to that stuff. Again, it's up to you with what you're going to do with that, and have yourself a reward for when you stick to things that you've been doing that you want to do, okay? These things aren't magical, like these things aren't crazy, but they will ebb you in the right direction towards making this a long-term habit. To making this a long-term lifestyle with good habits. And that's the podcast, guys. I hope it was helpful. I hope it was informative. If you found it helpful, as always, I would really appreciate if you shared it. And if you do, just take 2 minutes and give us a review. I'd really appreciate if you guys can just open up your app, give it a review. It helps other people find me. I just appreciate if you guys do that too. So until next time, I'll speak to you guys then.